Welcome back. As we've said, this is cooking at home. I call it home cooked. It ain't made from scratch, grinding your own flour or all that kind of stuff. It is how to cook cheap. How to cook cheap and how easy it is. This is my 12-year-old daughter. She's the one who handles cakes in our family most of the time. And so she's doing a super moist carrot cake. This cost us
about $2.
About $2. How much does this cost? Like $2?
About $2. Yeah.
About $2. All right, and obviously, if you've already got eggs, then those are staple items. And then we've got oil, and then we've got the pan that we use for the pan and the water, right? But these are your only. The rest of this stuff is staple. It's stuff you want to keep around. A little bit of oil, obviously, vegetable oil, all that kind of stuff. So overall, $4 for a dessert for the whole family. This is the way. What? You make sure your family's got a dessert. So if you add this to the beans and the cornbread videos that we have on the channel, I'm going to say for basically about 14 bucks. You can feed your family until they're full and top them off with a dessert. All right, show us what we're doing.
So first, obviously, you just
Speak up real loud so they can hear you.
First, obviously, you open the box and put the powder in the thing.
Well, what's the very first thing we're going to do?
Preheat the oven.
And that is important, guys. I've said it in the other videos. It's important because when you pop the cake in, again, if the oven's not preheated, and I know some people are going to be like, well, duh. A lot of people haven't been taught this. And for you that haven't been taught this, don't consider yourself, guess what? You don't know how to cook because nobody taught you. Somebody should have taught you, period. But preheating the oven's important. You want to make sure it's preheated because if you don't want to put something in there that's bacon, right? Well, what's it going to do?
It's not going to actually cook. It's going to like
burn the bottom, right? It's going to burn the bottom, burn the top, whatever, and your middle's going to be nasty. You also want your rack where?
You want it about the middle?
Yeah. Even heat. So see, and why are we teaching you this?
So that when I grow older and I get married, I know this stuff from you.
That's right. Yeah. So you can make a cake if you want. You don't have to go to Walmart and spend $25 on a pre-made one. All right, keep walking us through it. I got you.
So we're gonna not cut off from this.
Yeah, that's important.
And
I got you.
Put the powder in the bowl.
And then the box calls for a 1 cup of water.
1/4 of a cup of vegetable oil and 3 eggs. So I always put the water in first because it is most. And then I put the 1/4 of a cup of vegetable oil. And then I put my eggs. And actually, I used to do this, like break the shells like this, but I've actually found it easier and a little bit cleaner, actually, breaking them like this, using an egg to pop the egg.
Minus any shells, right?
Minus any shells,
We'll
yes.
set this here for your eggshells.
And
Okay, I want to see what your trick is for that last one.
well, then it's
I'm
just
just
like
playing.
this.
All right. All right, now we're ready to pour it in the pan and bake it, right?
No, we're gonna mix it
Oh, okay.
with the whisk.
And as you can see, she's using, what is that, probably a 99-cent whisk. And guys, I'm not coming against the idea if you can afford a mixer and all that. We're just trying to show that even if you're a young family just getting started and you can't afford to go spend even $20 on an electric mixer, I don't know what they really run now. This is a 99-cent mixer. My wife actually told me, don't forget to mention this, Dollar Tree is your best friend. Because the quality of the Dollar Tree mixers aren't too much different than the Walmart ones. And the difference is the Walmart ones cost you $10. The Dollar Tree would cost you, I think they're not $1 anymore, right? They're $1.25. Everything's like $1.25 now. And she has almost got this fully mixed. It mixes actually very, very well. And so, can you hold that up a little bit so they can see how smooth that got and how fast that got smooth? And we'll let Mom zoom it in for us so that they can see. You see it got it really smooth, really quick, and she's checking it now, kind of moves it around, make sure you don't have any dry clumps or anything in there, right? It's really not that bad. So it's a really easy task. And like I said, I get it. This is not like, oh, you know, I know they got those channels where make your own homemade cakes. And guys, I'm not against that kind of stuff. This channel is for people who want to be able to put, right, those young couples, those young families who need to put food on the table. And they would like to enjoy a big pot of savory beans, some savory cornbread, and top it with an awesome carrot cake, which is one of my favorites, by the way, with cream cheese frosting. All right, what are we doing next?
We're gonna take our, what did she call this, Pam?
Well, canola oil, spray oil.
It's to make it not stick, and then we're gonna move away from the food, and then just lightly spray it. That should be fine.
Yep. Kind of like when I did the cornbread, you just basically, it kind of looks like you put a haze over it.
Then just kind of dump it in there. And you can either use this to whisk to get this stuff, or you can use a
Spoon or anything.
spoon, like spatula, not spatula. I mean, you can, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the thing is called.
Okay, one thing to mention. The pan, if you notice, the pan is probably about halfway full. That's something to always remember. That, and again, this is because I know some have never been taught, you know, but the pan needs to be big enough for this cake to expand in it. Because you may be new to this. Guess what? First time I think I ever made a cake, I was like, oh, I must have forgot something. You know, when I was much, much younger, but I was like, I must have forgot something. How come they didn't fill the pan up? It's going to be a half a cake. This is going to expand, guys. And so if this is your very first time and you're looking at it and going, oh, did I forget something or something? You didn't forget anything. The instructions are on the back of the box. It's not hard to follow, right? This is more for showing you and give you the confidence you can do this. And you can make a cake for your family. Muffins, right? Muffins, cake, cupcakes, all kinds of stuff for your family. And you can do it for $2 or $3, putting a nice dessert in front of them every night if you want to. Because I know there are many of you young ladies out there that are just getting started off. I know that you were raised up in a lot of ways where you have no idea how to cook. That's what this is for. This is for those ones that unfortunately made it out of their home and they don't know how to operate anything. We're going to do more videos on very simple stuff, and it may be simple to people that have known it and been educated in it. But how could you not know? I mean, it'd be no different than if we met somebody who had never got to go to school and never got educated how to read. You know, we wouldn't get upset with that person. We'd be like, well, I mean, somebody needs to teach them how to read because that's a good. Well, guess what? These are simple ways. Simple ways. And we love Jesus around here, right? And so what are we doing? We're encouraging people how to be Proverbs 31 woman. It ain't about being Leave It to Beaver on TV. Matter of fact, if you're judging yourself by any woman on TV, turn the TV off and throw it out of your house. Throw it in the garbage, right? Because most of that stuff on TV is giving you a fantastical life about something that does not exist at all, period. Real women are working hard, and guess what? They don't spend, 9.5 hours, do they? Putting one dinner meal on the table. They're not churning their own butter and all that kind of stuff, because guess what? It leaves no room for laundry, for keeping the rest of the house or anything like that. Working, because we live in a world now where both a husband and a wife have to work. We may not like it, but unfortunately the economy is getting worse and worse, and inflation is getting so high that you can't help it. You can't help it, and it costs you $80 to fill your gas tank up. We don't live in our mom and daddy's world where it costs 15 cents a gallon. All right? So, anyways, the oven just beeped, which means what?
We put the cake in the oven, but I suggest, because I have burnt little things, take like any rag and make sure there's no batter on the side, because that could either cause a fire hazard or even just burn it to the cake pan and make it just terrible to clean. So
that's a smart idea.
And
then always caution in a hot oven. Open the oven door all the way. They're springy. They can snap up. Slide it in. Keep your hands away from everything. And close the oven back up. All right, on here it says, if we're using a regular 13-inch pan,
26 to 27 minutes. And then on these, the Betty Crockers, it has if you have burnt cupcakes to 8-inch round pans to 9-inch round pans.
So, and the one we used, we used a regular 13-inch, 9-inch pan. That was the pan that y'all saw. But there's different cook times depending on what you're using. If you're making cupcakes out of a cupcake pan, it's 13 to 18 minutes. She's setting the timer now, 27 minutes. All right, and so we will come back when the cake comes out to show y'all after it cools, because that's the other thing we don't want to forget. Do you icing it once it comes out of the oven?
No, you let it cool.
Oh, the icing will melt everywhere. We will be right back. Okay, the cake has came out, right? And it's done. And the way to check it, we're going to put the knife down in the middle of it. You can use a toothpick. It came out clean. Nothing wet, nothing nasty, nothing like that. All right? So she's got her mitts on, so I'm kind of helping with this. We're going to make sure we run around the pan, and we make sure it's kind of loosened up. And then we're going to put the plate over the top of it. And you see she's got mitts on. This has actually cooled a little bit. So I can handle it, but she's not going to handle it. And then we can turn it over. And if you need some help, get an extra set of hands for it. And then we're going to try to pop it right out like it did. And now we'll be back because right now this is still pretty warm. The icing's going to melt off of it. So we'll be back to icing it. Right? All right, cake's all nice and cooled off. We went ahead and flipped it over. That way that it's not all wobbly on the other side. And she's going to show you how to icing it. One of the tricks we do have here too is a little bit of water. If you dip your spatula in just a little bit of water in between, it'll make it smooth over quicker, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Why am I doing all the talking? You're the one doing it.
So obviously, you take the top off. I always suggest mixing it a little before you do anything so that there's no weird liquid on top or anything like that. Because sometimes weird things can separate, And then, to be completely honest with you, I really just kind of do that.
Start gobbing it on there.
Mm-hmm.
We like lots of icing around here. Not everybody does. My other daughter and my wife don't like the icing as much, but it works out beautifully. Because when they scrape it off, we eat it. We take it. So, but this is a carrot cake with a cream cheese icing. The whole thing, when we're done, this is $4. And so, very, very, very economical way. And like I said, I know some people are going to see this and be like, well, duh. And I'm not kidding you. I've had a lot of young men working in the industry. I do. Had a lot of young men, a lot of young women, particularly young men that end up working with me. Because I'm in the trades industry, and they'll go, well, no, my wife doesn't know how to cook like that, and I don't know how to cook like that, and they're blowing, and it's not their fault, but they're blowing, $250 a week trying to put groceries on the table, or they're trying to be cheap, and guys, I don't have anything against romaine noodles. We like couple noodles and romaine noodles around here, but you cannot eat them for a week. It's going to make you very, very unhealthy, and you're going to get very tired of them very quick. So this, tonight, at least with this particular cake and the videos that we've made today, we've made a big pot of beans and rice. We have made a delicious cornbread. We like our sweet, but also spicy. Again, you can mix the stuff in you want. And then we're adding this cake to it now. And so total value is probably about $12, maybe $14 if you really, really push it on the high side. $14 to put a big pot of beans and rice, and they're good, We will add to the end of this one the total meal of the beans and rice, the cake, and the cornbread. But very good, very appetizing, very filling. Beans are very nutritious for you, and then on top of that, a dessert for $14. Everybody gets something to eat, and we're not talking about eating cheap here. We will add to these videos, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to do some roast, and we'll do baked potatoes on the grill and all kinds of stuff. I mean, you'd be surprised, for about $10-12 how fast you can put a chopped barbecue together. You know, we do ribs all the time around here, and you can do some beautiful ribs. They're actually fairly cheap at Walmart. Pork's not bad right now. Beef is irate. You might not see as many beef things right now. And again, whether we can afford it or not doesn't mean we're going to spend $25 on a couple pounds of hamburger meat. That's insane. That's insane right now. So guess what? Pork works, and pork is very good, and there's nothing wrong with it. And you see, she's almost done with this. So time frame, what you think? Put it all together? 20 minutes?
It can be from, if you just doing this. Just doing this.
This kind of cake, real quick for dessert at night.
Like from making it and putting it in the oven, and then just like the actual wok pot in 20 to 30 minutes. The waiting part for like when it cools down, when it's cooking, that can make it go to about an hour sometimes. Yeah, but see, that's the thing is on the waiting part, you always, especially if you're already home anyways, you're like that, right? You can be doing all kinds of other things. When the cake's cooling down, you ain't got to babysit it. No. So very easy way. The overall, maybe an hour total of actual work time. I think that the beans and rice video was maybe 15 minutes long. The cornbread video was, I don't know, 8 minutes long, 9 minutes long, and this one, probably another 9 or 10 minutes, so less than an hour, and $14. And like I said, we're going to do some others. We'll keep adding to the channel. This is for those out there that go, okay, I want to know how you feed a whole family a good dinner every night, and even include a dessert, right? And you do it off of $100 a week, and you can do it for less than that, actually. Averagely, once you get your staple items down, you should be between $60 and $70 a week. And quite frankly, for a whole family, $60, $70, you go to Whataburger, family of 5 will spend $60, $70, $80 in a second for one meal that doesn't even really leave you all that full. All right, I think it looks pretty good. Nice, pretty cake. Doesn't have to be TV worthy. It's going to be really good. I know it is, because she cooks cakes for us all the time, and she's really good at it. And it's going to be fantastic, and I don't care if it'll make a TV show. I care that me and my wife care, you care, right? And all of us enjoy it. That's the important part. So God bless y'all. Let's keep cooking with the simple things, and you can take care of your family and still put gas in your car.